Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 24th edition of the BS Podcast. Today, I've brought in a returning guest. Please reintroduce yourself.
Hi, hello everybody. How you all doing today? I am Roll Truth. Um, Pretty much I'm also a podcast host, but I'm on a hiatus on that podcast right now. I've been mostly working on my second channel where I'm just like live streaming a specific game. Not that many people know about, but other than that, I'm still going through, like finishing up like university. Plus, I've been working. I've been doing an internship as well. So I'm pretty busy IRL. So I haven't really like done a whole lot in terms of content. So yeah.
Very busy life you've been living. Has it felt good to be busy, or would you prefer a more relaxed life at this point?
I mean, like somewhere in between, like, cause I understand like it's in a way it's good to be busy. So, like you're not like bored, you know.
Very fair. You wouldn't want to be bored, but at the same time, you want to,
You
as
want to
you said,
relax?
the
Yeah,
middle
of course.
ground.
Yeah, most definitely. That's the best way to put it.
So, in an update of last week's BS podcast, we talked about Assassin's Creed Unity being given out to for free, and a funny thing happened. We've been seeing with Epic Games Rise taking certain series over to the Epic Games Store. You've seen Steam have review bombing happen. Well, with this, Assassin's Creed Unity got reversed review botted, and that's you have various positive reviews over putting the game out for free over the horrific incident that happened with the fire, but Valve's review policy, it's not clear whether or not this is going to violate the recent thing they added, which was they didn't want to allow the negative review bombing to stay. They wanted to remove off-topic reviews because of the Epic Game Store thing, and that's why those review bombs were happening. But when it comes to this, will they also enforce a similar policy, or is this different?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Do you think reverse view review bombing is different than review bombing, and will Valve remove the positive reviews that have nothing to do with the game like they are planning on doing with the negative reviews that have nothing to do with the game?
I mean, wouldn't it just make sense to like leave the reviews alone? Because it gives people a better idea of like if a game is good or if a game is bad. But then again, if there's like reviews of games, like when those reviews like have nothing to do with it. I mean, like if they remove those, then wouldn't it be like, oh, there'll be like less reviews of that game, then therefore it'll be like less accurate in terms of like if a game has more positive than negative or more negative than positive. So yeah, I haven't looked I haven't looked a bit too much into that specific article you're looking to, but I guess that's sort of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just an interesting trend after we've been seeing negative review bombs on different games, and now a positive review bomb. And with Valve wanting to take care of the negative side, it'll be interesting to see if they also take care of the positive side of the review bomb, and we will see. I guess that's an update for another week. Moving on from that, are you aware of what the rarest PS4 game is called?
Actually, no. What is the rarest PS4 game called?
The rarest PS4 game is called Poop Slinger, and it supposedly bankrupted a company. Released for the PlayStation 4 and Steam in August 2018 by little-known developer Diggity.net, the casual poop launcher game didn't manage to cause much of a stink, pun intended. In fact, at the time of the article that I'm reading, it lacks any 0 user reviews on Steam. It is, all things considered, a fairly unremarkable game. Despite this, Poop Slinger has become remarkable in at least one unexpected and interesting way. It has recently become the rarest physical PlayStation 4 release ever, with just 84 copies reported to be out in the wild. Amazingly, the story behind its release, which apparently bankrupted physical publisher Limited Rare Games, is even more remarkable. Months before its release, developer Diggity.net was contracted by a company going by the name Limited Rare Games to publish a limited print run physical release of their game Poop Slinger for the PS4. This was the first time they had ever had dealings with a physical release of any of their titles, but they accepted the offer, and this was to be Limited Rare's first and only physical release. Limited Rare, a supposedly South Carolina-based company run by a single Russian individual, claims to have taken out a loan from the bank to fund the release. As Sony's policy dictates a minimum quantity order of 1,000 copies, we know that at least this many were manufactured. When Poop Slinger went on sale on April 1st, which is a key thing here, April 1st, 2019, for $33.99, things immediately started looking bad for Limited Rare Games. Limited run collectors who snap up the bulk of these sorts of purchases were instantly suspicious. The website to purchase copies from was laughably bare bones, with little more than a picture of Poop Slinger's game case, a buy now button, and a copyright signature, half of which was written in Russian. All of this was displayed on a plain white site alongside a note that only 820 copies were available worldwide, despite the minimum order number from Sony being 1,000 units. Throughout the day, it became apparent that very few sales were being made. Limited Rare Games increased the price to $50, tweeting, "We are not selling enough and are scared we may go out of business. And later, if we do not sell out all copies in 2 hours, we will have to close down. Too many people think we are a joke or scam, and the game is not selling." And how this story ended was they didn't get the sales. They failed to stay in business, and as far as anyone's been able to tell, Limited Run Games, Rare Games is just gone now. It failed, and the thing for me, as I read this story, how can you make a game called Poop Slinger released on April 1st and not expect it to go poorly?
I mean, you make a good point there. I mean, if you publish a game on April 1st called Poop Slinger, I mean, people are not gonna really take the game seriously, you know. I mean, especially with a name like that. I mean, because there's other games out there with like silly names, but you know, they were released at different dates. But specifically in April 1st, I mean, what was this game about anyway? You just like
Literally, what it's called, you sling poop, and from what I seen, the pictures I seen, it looked like you could be in like the streets and such, and you had this character that didn't really look too good. But I guess it was not fine enough to get sales, but it didn't look like the worst game I've ever seen.
So you just go around town, you just sling poop at people, and just the object of the game is just, I guess, cover the whole town in poop, or like
maybe. I mean, maybe. I feel like as I look deeper into this, the person was Russian, the main person behind all this, so maybe he wasn't aware of April 1st and what that meant. But at the same time, if you're making a game and you're publishing a game on a certain date, you should be sure that this is the right time. It's like if you plan on releasing a game and you see that, what's a popular game franchise right now? Fortnite is releasing on March 18th. I shouldn't release my game on March 18th. That would be a bad idea.
It would.
Same concept here.
I mean, it was published like maybe like April 2nd or April 3rd. I mean, it'll be a different story, but who's to say like how good or if that game would do better? It was published later. I mean, it's hard to tell, but based on like how you're describing the game to me, probably will still not do well.
Yeah, I don't think this was going to be game of the year, no matter what.
Maybe poop of the year, perhaps.
Maybe. There's a good chance of that. So I guess the lesson here, if any future gaming developer or publisher is listening to this, be careful what you release on what day.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, you gotta have better marketing practices. You want to like try to push out a game at a certain time, and then get more people aware of this game's existence, and then what I guess like all the different features the game has. But I don't think it had any of that.
So how do you feel about battle royale games?
Oh, don't get me started with battle royale games, man. Don't. I mean, I feel like battle royale games. I in a way, it's just my opinion, but I think like they're kind of like overrated because you see like more games coming out that are, like either like they're specifically or primarily battle royale games or games that are starting to implement like a battle royale mode or anything of that sort. I know. I mean, I used to like get into that. I gave it a try. Like for example, like Fortnite. But then like like a bit after that, I don't know. I just didn't really like I'm playing Fortnite. That doesn't mean like I don't like battle royale games in general, because I have not tried any other battle royale games. But I don't know. Just I don't know. I mean, the concept is decent. I mean, like don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm just not really like a huge fan of them these days.
How would you feel about a RuneScape battle royale?
I mean, they had like something like Deadman mode, didn't something like that? Like that
Yeah,
had
they've
like
had
similar
similar
concept.
concepts.
Yeah. Yeah, then like something like, I read something too, like something went wrong with like their recent like Deadman mode. Like everyone got like teleported into the fog and then like everybody died or something like that.
Oops.
Yeah, that was like a whole clown fiesta going on over there. That's been happening the past like a couple years or so.
100%. And it's interesting to me that the battle royale concept, to me, I have never played a battle royale game. Not once, not ever. But this week, in particular, the week we're recording this on a Friday, I have been watching Brax from Crymore Gaming, watching him stream, and he's played PUBG, Apex, and seeing these two games, it's given me a new perspective. My whole perspective has been anything I've watched up until this week, I felt like I want slower. I want a slower paced one. I don't want to always have to be moving. And when I watched Apex, what immediately struck out to me is how fast paced and unfortunate it can be. It's not to say Apex is a bad game at all. Don't take it as that, but for how I would personally want to play a battle royale game, if you can die and you have a good chance of dying within the first 90 seconds of you landing on the ground, I'm not really a big fan of that. I want an actual couple minutes to be like, okay, let me get this stuff, let me think, what do I want to go? Okay, I want to go this way, let me start to head this way, and not immediately die in that process. That's just a first thing. Like, if it happened once every 50 games, sure. But when I watched 3 hours of Apex, this happened multiple times, some in a row. And for me, that is a 100% turn off.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Yeah, like you just get in the game and then like a few seconds later you die, and then you have to like start a new game. But like the way you're saying, like for example, like or planning like some sort of strategy, or like planning what you want to do like before like the game actually starts. I think that's not bad of an idea. But then again, I could see people argue that, oh, why do we need to do that? You could just plan as you go, or why do we need to wait this much time before the game actually starts? So I don't know. It's like, I mean, each of those strategies have like their own pros and cons. Like getting straight into the game, like not really knowing what to do, versus like having like a couple minutes to plan out your strategy and collect your stuff, or like before you actually get into the game.
Definitely. And for me, I look at compared to PUBG, and for me, my only complaint with PUBG is it doesn't have to be every game defaults to this, but I want an option in the game to be like, okay, we're not going to close in on you this quickly. We're going to give the game time can be up to an hour and have that be the thing. And by the end of the hour, you're forced into that closed circle, and over time, it gets closer and closer instead of... PUBG is, from my limited experience watching Battle Royale games, it's the closest to what I'm looking for. I just want an option. I mean, maybe it isn't popular, maybe I'm in a minority here, but it can't hurt to just have an option where, okay, I want this game to last a little longer. It doesn't have... People take it to an extreme and be like, oh, everyone's going to be camping, this thing's going to last all day. No, 1 hour. 1 hour limit. At the end of the hour, you're forced into that super close circle where you're always going to be within a distance of each other. But that's what I want. And not every game would last the hour, but it'd give you more time to think things out. And I think people mistake wanting to go slower and think as camping, and I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, I can understand about the camping part. Like, I think that's like kind of like a way of like, I wouldn't say like conservatively, because I know like back when I used to play battle royale games, I would try to play conservatively, like try not to get into fights, more like trying to avoid fights until like there's like, I guess, the last 5 people or less, and then I try to take action there. That's kind of like how I play.
Absolutely, and it's a very fair way to play. It's a good way to go about it, and I don't know.
Some people don't have the patience to do that. I have the patience to like just wait, and then go.
But a lot of people want a super fast-paced game. They want something to be going on at all times, and I definitely feel like that's fair. There should be a healthy variety in games. There should be your fast-paced battle royals, there should be your medium-paced battle royals, and there should be a slow-paced battle royal. And none of the 3 have to be bad, it's just what fits the gamer. And maybe there isn't a market for a super slow-paced battle royal. But maybe there is.
Who knows? I don't think I've ever seen like a slow-paced battle royale. Like most battle royales these days are at least medium-paced to fast-paced.
Yeah, I'd put PUBG more in the medium category. To me, when I hadn't watched Apex before, I would consider PUBG way too fast and I'd want slower. But when I watched Apex, my perspective completely changed. How fast-paced Apex was just gave me a new appreciation for PUBG. And keep in mind, as I talk about this, never played a Battle Royale game, so if that disqualifies my opinion, sure, whatever, I don't care. But from watching
me neither. I don't have much experience with Battle Royales either.
But as a consumer, consuming footage of the games and thinking, would I want to play this game? I wouldn't want to play Apex. I understand that it's more... Battle Royale evolved, and it's more, okay, we have abilities from Overwatch, we have this and that, we combined it with the Battle Royale concept, you have pinging for better communication among the teams, and it's more of a goof-off all the time, but for me, I just don't think Apex really hits what I'm looking for. So, going from Battle Royales to Disney, man, they've had a pretty busy first quarter into April, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. Like, it's been a while since you've talked about Disney, or maybe I'm probably missing some of these your episodes.
Because recently we've had Disney Plus officially announced. We've seen some of the stuff that Disney Plus is going to be releasing. We've had the Disney-Fox merger. We've had all sorts of fun Disney things. We've seen Disney Plus was going to be competitive in their pricing, and they're, in fact, like half the price of Netflix at this point. That's going to be an interesting tactic to see if they can hook people into Disney Plus early. And this week, according to a production executive, Disney has been warned by lawyers not to even think about developing new content featuring the characters of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Punisher until the 2-year mark. The clarification is an important one. This means that they can't begin working on this in any way, shape, or form until 2 years after it stopped airing. And for some cases, that's 2020. But for, like, Jessica Jones and I think The Punisher, that's 2021. They cannot work on this or do anything with the property until that 2 years has passed. And I think the big question here is, after the time has elapsed, will they be able to bring the show back and not completely reboot it, and will they want to?
I mean, I don't understand why Disney would buy out Fox, because like most of the stuff that's on Fox, I mean, it's not really like family friendly. That would be like on Disney's network. So I'm thinking maybe they're not going to like, put them back at all. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, that's where part 2 of this discussion goes, because recently Disney acquired 30% more of Hulu. And Hulu, it's now like 60% owned by Disney at this point. So they have a majority stake in the company. And Disney also is trying to talk Comcast into giving them their 30% stake in Hulu. That way, it can just be pretty much Disney Plus for the more family-friendly stuff, and then Hulu for the more adult things they may want to do stuff with.
Okay,
So they
alright.
may
They may bring it back
there.
on Hulu. Maybe, yeah, that'd make more sense. Yeah,
How do you
put it there.
How do you feel about Disney beginning to take over and want to take over the streaming avenue when it comes to their plans of Disney Plus and then what they're trying to do with Hulu?
That doesn't sound very Disney of them, to be quite honest.
Disney's trying to get that monopoly in the streaming business. All they have to do, if they can get Comcast's share of Hulu, then it's pretty much just, you gotta beat out Netflix. And if you beat out Netflix, then Disney wins in the streaming market.
Yeah, it sounds like Disney's like world domination or something.
Well, sometimes it just happens that way. That's just how things can go sometimes. What would you think is the most watched thing on Netflix right now?
Because the thing is, I haven't watched like much of Netflix lately. I haven't really gotten to like any new series. So it's hard to say on this one.
When it comes to the most watched thing on Netflix, obviously when a new show happens, it'll take the spot for a little bit.
Yeah, it takes spot for a little while, then it kind of like...
Yeah, but one show will always take back the number one lead. It'll be like, okay, we're back on top because we're a show that everyone loves watching for the most part, besides certain people. But the most watched thing on Netflix overall is The Office.
The what?
The Office.
Oh, The Office. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Cause I mean, there's like at least last time I checked, like more than 10 seasons of that on Netflix. So you could like easily like binge watch it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people just leave The Office on in the background because most people think it's a good show, and it's interesting how, although Netflix is trying to make their own shows, they haven't found anything that can be the hit full time that The Office is. And what's interesting is for the past few years, there's always been this story of, oh, what happens when The Office leaves Netflix? What happens when The Office leaves Netflix? But they keep being like, okay, no, we have The Office for this much more time. We're gonna keep fighting to keep The Office on because, as I said, The Office is the most watched thing on Netflix. It'd be a blow to take it away. And right now, The Office will stay on Netflix until 2021. Do you think they can maintain keeping The Office on Netflix, or do you think NBC Universal or Hulu will take it from them?
I mean, if it gets to the case where Netflix can like no longer like keep The Office on their own platform, then most likely some other platform will, and then more people will like go onto that other platform to watch The Office. But I think Netflix will probably do their best to keep it on because that's how I guess I'm guessing like some or even most of their customers they buy Netflix, to not only watch The Office but watch like any like new movies that come out on Netflix, or any like Netflix series or any Netflix specials.
Yeah, I feel like Netflix, it started out as, okay, we have all these shows and some movies, and that interested people. But the transition from Netflix doing that to having their own original series, and those having varying levels of success, some of them being very good according to people, it's interesting how Netflix is trying to self-sustain themselves and not. It's like they've seen it coming. They knew eventually other people would try and take the market and they'd take their shows back, like earlier with the Marvel shows, those 5 being canceled. So it's interesting, and it'll be even more interesting to see if Netflix can hold this lead, because it's a big lead they have. But once NBC Universal releases their streaming service, Disney Plus is out, Hulu continues to rise. Will Netflix remain the number one streaming thing around, or will someone else take that spot from them?
I mean, let's hope Netflix gets their stuff together because if they don't, they'll lose like most of their customers. Because I know, like for me, like only reason why I have Netflix is because I have like an eligible family plan with T-Mobile, so they give me like free Netflix. So
Makes sense.
yeah, it's like an incentive like for customers like to switch to T-Mobile, like so that way they can like watch Netflix. So that's how they're
Yeah,
getting. That's how they're getting some of their customers too.
it's good to make deals like that. That helps bring in more people.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes that's all it takes. People will be like, I don't want to pay $10 or $12 for Netflix when I can just watch stuff on the TV, or I can just use Hulu or what have you. But if you include it into something, then suddenly it's like, oh, well, I have it, so I might as well try it. And they're like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I'm going to pay for it later down the road when I no longer get it for free.
Yeah,
So the next topic I brought is something I seen on Reddit that it's about a vegan cafe, and it's an odd story to me. I feel like on one hand, I'll preface it by saying maybe neither of us are qualified to talk about this, but I want to bring in the topic and see what we can think about it. So, a vegan cafe charged 18% man tax, and it's the restaurant's set to close. Handsome Her, a vegan cafe in Melbourne, Australia, sparked global debate in 2017 when it announced it would offer women priority seating and charge men an 18% seat premium to reflect the gender pay gap. After 2 years of trading, the cafe announced it would be closing its doors for good on April 28th. In a post entitled A Handsome Farewell, Miss O'Brien wrote, "It's been a wild journey to say the least. When we opened Handsome Her in 2017, we expected that perhaps we might make a stir through our brazen public discussions of structural inequality and oppression. The man tax blew up the internet, an idea we didn't think was all too radical, yet the way the world responded shows us how fragile masculinity is and solidified the necessity for us to confront and dismantle patriarchy. We were just one little tiny shop on Sydney Road that was trying to carve out a swath of space to prioritize women and women's issues, and suddenly we became the punching bag of Melbourne and the internet. She then later on said, yes, we are the evil, discriminatory, man-hating dicks who charge men more when didn't you know the wage gap doesn't even exist? Meanwhile, gentlemen's social clubs live on and strong around Melbourne and the world over. She ended her message by thanking the community and friends who came and never left their side, and explained that the team would be off to our next adventure north where they would be doing some hands-on work. So, that's a lot to take in.
It is, yeah.
From my perspective, if the answer to inequality, if you truly think, and there truly is, inequality in your mind, the answer should not be to respond with inequality. I think that is a fundamental flaw in the logic here, no matter what side you're on. If your answer to inequality is inequality and you think that's equality, I think there's a flaw there.
Right? Yeah, that's just like you're trying to play fire with fire. Yeah, that's no, you don't do that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bizarre to me because I can understand people would feel frustrated with a situation, and it's not for me to say whether or not this is an actual issue or not. That's not for me to say. But what I can speculate is just, as you said, you don't deal with fire by throwing more fire.
Right, exactly. Like try encourage more equality. Like I don't understand. Like what was it, like 18% man tax? Like, come on, like who thought that was a good idea?
Well, don't you know? You're a man. You should pay more because you get paid more. Yeah, you get paid more, so you should pay more for our stuff.
I mean, I don't know how the pay rate is in Australia, so I can't speak for that. So
yeah, as I prefaced it, it's not for us to say whether or not this is an actual issue, but I think we can both agree that what their tactic was to deal with what they feel is an issue is not the way to go about resolving the issue.
Right, exactly. Yeah, try to encourage more equality. Like have like like not just like male and female, or even like non-binary. Like all of them like should have like a right to like sit wherever they please. In in the establishment. Like not have like one group have like more benefits to like being in that establishment compared to another group of people. That just won't work. And then that's why part of why they closed down a couple years later.
Absolutely. So when it comes to your experiences, how is the vegan journey going for you at this point? Has anything changed since the last time we talked?
I mean, I'm still like eating like the vegan food, still looking through like more like different stuff that I haven't even tried before. Like I know like a while back I went to my very first vegan fair. Like there was like a food fair, like all the vendors all that were there, all the eateries, all the different shops, like everything was like vegan there. So I was in heaven at that point. Like I see like all these different options for me that I can eat. And I did take a picture of like on like a couple of stuff like I ate over on Instagram. So like one of the stuff I ate was like I think it was called like the nacho boat or something like that. But it was like tortilla chips, and there was like beans. Added some guacamole, and then like added some like salsa, and then some other stuff. But then they I think it wasn't like actual meat on it. I think it was like it looked like jackfruit to me. Like it's like pulled pork in a way. It looked like jackfruit, and then they
Yeah.
put that on there. And that was really good. I shared that with one of my folks because it was a lot. It looked like two people could eat from that. And then I tried like yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to I've seen a few of the pictures on Moral Truth on Instagram. If anyone's wanting to see the pictures, just
Yeah,
type
moral
in
underscore
Moral
truth. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find it. And I feel like my stance when it comes to food in general, because I'm currently in the process of losing weight. I'm hoping when I weigh in on Monday, the day this podcast goes up, I'll be at 160, which will be 7 pounds loss at this point. And for me, I'm not
Nice.
really specifically changing what I eat. I'm just holding myself accountable for what I eat.
Of
So,
course.
like, MyFitnessPal or Lose It, calorie tracking apps, sure, that can be a pain in the ass if you don't want to deal with that. But if you want to maintain a weight or you want to lose weight, I really like keep knowing where I'm at for the day and being like, okay, if I consume any more of this or I want this or this for the day, this is the consequence. And while calories in, calories out probably in 100 years won't be the super great answer that it can be, when it comes to a simple way to lose weight and still be happy. Because my thing with weight loss, and I feel this is where a lot of people go wrong, you gotta do something that you're actually gonna stick with. It shouldn't be like, I want to lose weight, so I guess I'm gonna go exercise and go to the gym. If you don't plan on doing that when you, in theory, lose the weight, then I don't think that should be your method for losing the weight. Because you're just gonna gain it all back at that point. You have to stay consistent with, okay, I'm gonna track the calories I eat, and I'm gonna do that for the rest of my life. That way, I'm always where I wanna be. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you want to like set a goal for yourself, actually have try do your best to be like dedicated to the goal. Have like the incentive that you do want to go to the gym, that you do want to work out, and you do want to like count your calories. That way you're not like overeating or anything like that. Because if you're just like going to the gym, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym because I have to go, like, then that's not really like any. That just shows that you're not really like motivated or determined to continue doing that. That's how it is I mean, that's how I see it, at least.
And so, to put it for a circle, because I kind of got lost in what I was saying, when it comes to food and all of that, while you can look at a food and be like, oh, I really want this is what I currently like, but this is like 1,000 calories, so I really shouldn't eat this very often. And you want to look for healthier options, you have to dig. You can't just be like, oh, everyone says, oh, I should eat some broccoli, but broccoli sucks, so who wants to eat broccoli? You gotta dig deep and do your research and be like, oh, here are 100 recipes I should try, and I shouldn't be like, oh, well, the first 3 recipes I chose sucked, so they all suck. You gotta stick with it and find, like, for you, Moral, you're still looking for more options. You're looking for more recipes. You're discovering new things as time goes on, and that's what you should do, because that's what people should do normally for food. It's just you're going about it in a more precise, you could say healthier way.
Right, exactly. Because who wants to eat like tofu all the time, right?
Exactly. Nobody wants to eat the same thing for the rest of their life. You should always have a variety.
Right, like you said, like 100 different recipes for like something with broccoli, like for example, you could, or like I've seen like some stuff like buffalo cauliflower or something. It looks like like chicken wing, like buffalo wings or something, but it's made with cauliflower instead. So that's like a nice alternative to that. or
Ex-
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, completely off topic question. Are you ready for this?
Sure, I'm ready.
This was a question I was thinking of before the podcast, and I feel like I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm interested to see if I'm wrong. Do you have any plans or any future ideas to possibly get in a tattoo, and why or why not?
Tattoos. At the moment, no. I mean, because first of all, like getting tattoos these days are like pretty expensive. And I mean, I can understand why people get tattoos. Like, they're like be able to express themselves. Like, they might have like a picture of something or like a symbol, something that like resonates with somebody, or there's like deep meaning or something that has a deep connection with that person. In terms of when they get that tattoo, but I don't know. It just slips my mind about me getting a tattoo personally. I mean, of course, you know the answer, but no, I appreciate you for asking. But at the
Yeah,
moment, like, no.
it was interesting to me because I was pretty sure your answer would be no. But sometimes people can surprise you, and for me, it's just like, what would Mortal want to get a tattoo of? What could move him to want to get a tattoo?
Right, right. I just most stuff I just think about in my mind. I ponder about different things, but I don't need to like necessarily have it like permanent on my skin, or something as a reminder of something, or who knows. I mean, and like a while back, I got like, myself like a Bob Ross shirt, so which was really nice. I got like compliments from people in public. Hey, that's a nice shirt. Oh, thanks. It was a shirt of like Bob Ross, but basically, so like, have you ever made mistakes in your life? Yeah, let's turn them into birds. Yeah, they're birds now. Yeah, that's what the shirt said.
Exactly. And it's like,
Right, there's like multiple ways you can express yourself, not necessarily like with a tattoo. There's like plenty of other ways to like, express
e-
yourself.
exactly. And so it's just, like, for me, I have no plans of getting a tattoo because really, I don't have the choice to get a tattoo. It's not really an option for me. My skin is naturally drier and I have eczema. So when it comes to getting a tattoo, sure, it's not 100% chance things would go horribly wrong and my eczema would go super crazy. But at the same time, my eczema is already crazy enough that I wouldn't want to take a risk and do something that could make it worse. Eczema as a whole is one of the worst things you can deal with. It's just the sense of having to itch and the sense of your skin just being drier. And like, I have body lotion near me at all times, and I put lotion on my hands at least like a dozen times a day. And it's just, if I don't, it will drive me up the wall.
Okay, all right. So with you, it's kind of different. Like you have like some sort of like skin condition, and like getting a tattoo might like make it worse or something.
Yeah, I absolutely think if I got a tattoo, there'd be too high of a chance that it'd just make things worse, and that's not what I'm looking for at all.
Right, that's pretty fair enough. Yeah, definitely.
What is a real life version of a level 1 bad guy?
Sorry, what was your question? You got kind of cut off there.
What is the real life version of a level 1 bad guy?
A real life version of a level one bad guy.
Yep.
I mean, if you just take candy from a baby, that's level one right there.
Yeah, that would be pretty. That's a level 1 bad guy. I agree. I think you nailed it. You die and everything fades to black. Then a message pops up. You can now play as Luigi. What do you do?
Wait, what? Wait, what just happened? Like Luigi just pops out of nowhere?
No, you fade to black. You're dead, but a pop-up appears. Just imagine after your eyes closed, you're gone. You have a pop-up, and it's like, you have the option to play as Luigi. What do you do?
Wait, you have an option to be reincarnated as Luigi?
Yeah. What do you do? Do you take the opportunity of a lifetime and be Luigi?
I mean, sure, why not? You get to live another day, but just as another character. Why not? Sure.
What do you think the life differences would be from what you are now to being Luigi?
I mean, it'll just be the same. It'll just be the same life, except like I have like a different appearance, different accent. I have a bigger mustache, and I'll jump slightly higher, compared to Mario.
Would you be excited to possibly meet Mario? Because I'm sure Mario would want to find you.
I mean, sure, but as long as I like owe him like lunch money or something, or I don't know, or be like, hey Mario, let's get some spaghetti. Or Luigi, Luigi, you're touching my spaghetti.
Pretty much. It would be interesting to see how that transition would go. Would it just be pretty seamless, or would it cause major complications?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could be like a good thing or a bad thing, or both. But who knows? Like, stay tuned next time. Then I'll write a blog about it. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like Life of
So
Luigi. What, April 29th or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So there was something in the news today that struck me as a very, very good move. LEGO releases Braille bricks to teach blind and visually impaired children. LEGO has unveiled a new project aimed at helping blind and visually impaired children learn Braille in a playful and engaging way. LEGO Braille Blocks, a concept originally proposed to the toy company by two charities, will allow children to learn the touch writing system through play. The bricks, which will launch fully in 2020, feature the studs used for characters in the Braille alphabet, as well as printed characters, allowing sighted people to read the bricks. They will be fully compatible with existing LEGO bricks, and the final set will comprise of approximately 250 bricks covering the alphabet, numbers, symbols, etc. They're currently being tested in various schools across the world, and they're testing multiple languages. How do you feel about Braille Lego blocks?
I mean, it's a good thing that Lego is trying to like expand their audience to blind people. So I think that's a good move for them. It's not just like people who could see. It's also people who can't see. They'll be able to enjoy something as well.
Absolutely. And for me, I feel like when I think about what certain companies have done, I don't think LEGO as a company has really done anything awful, have they?
I mean, not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like LEGO is one of those companies that's on the up and up. They don't really do anything controversial that I've heard about, at least. I mean, I guess the most controversial thing is people don't enjoy the LEGO games, but that's really not on them. So... the final piece of news, and this one is not unheard of, but it's very interesting to me. I don't see how this is going to work with people at all. Cameras that guess your age and sex are coming to store shelves. It's a new technology being trotted out to retailers in the United States where cameras try to guess your age, gender, or mood as you walk by. The intent is to use the information to show you targeted real-life ads on in-store video screens. Companies are pitching retailers to bring the technology into their physical stores as a way to better compete with online rivals like Amazon that are already armed with troves of information on their customers and their buying habits. At the National Retail Federation trade show in New York earlier this year, a smart shelf on display by Mood Media tried to detect happiness or fear as people stood in front of it, information a store could use to gauge reaction to a product on the shelf or an ad on a screen. Simplex Digital Media showed off video screens that can be placed in malls or bus stops and try to tell if someone is wearing glasses or sporting a beard, which in turn can be used to sell ads for new frames or razors. The screens can also be placed at the drive-thru. A minivan pulling into a fast food restaurant, for example, might get an ad for a family-sized meal on the video screen menu. For now, the cameras are just in a handful of stores. Kroger, which has 2,800 supermarkets, is one of the people testing these cameras, and also Walgreens has tested certain things as well. How do you feel about the concept of them using cameras and or other screens to try and detect how you're reacting to the products you're looking at?
Like the way you explain it kind of feels like, like when you're on the internet and you like search like different things, and then later on you get advertisements based on like what you're viewing on the internet. That's kind of like that being implemented in real life.
Absolutely, and have you ever looked at a product in the store and felt fear?
Yeah, then like someone like takes note of that and like, okay, someone got scared like with a box of Cheerios or something. That's a sign, like or something.
These Cheerios are no good. People getting too scared.
Yeah, maybe someone's like scared of it either because it's overpriced, or maybe because the box is expired, or the product expired, or I don't know, or maybe just someone didn't like the ingredients are in there. Like for me, I'll be like, oh, this thing has honey. Oh no, I'm not eating that.
Very fair, very fair. That is definitely ways they could track. Would you want these people to track how you're feeling about things? Would this be something you find appropriate for companies to do?
Not really. No. Like if someone really wanted like feedback on a product, like they would have like some sort of survey. Like I know, like in some stores, like for example, like Food for Less or any other store you go to, like on the receipt is that like, oh, go ahead and complete the survey, and then you have like you'll be entered for a chance to win like I don't know, a shopping spree or like $100 gift card or anything like that. And like that's like a way, like an incentive for customers to like give feedback on like their shopping experience. But like in terms of products, I mean, who's to say that maybe like those stores will also like begin asking questions on their survey regarding like regarding the different products that you buy? Because I know like I've done like Food for Less surveys before, and it's saying like, oh, what kind of stuff did you buy? Like, oh, did you buy like produce? Did you buy like dairy? Did you buy like stuff in the bakery section or etc.? And then it gives you like an opportunity to be like, oh, like how is this section like in terms of like cleanliness, or is it like affordable or anything like that, rather than like in the scenario you're talking about like a specific product. I think like maybe that'd be like a decent way to like get feedback from customers regarding like any like specific products that they sell.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept. It'll be also fascinating to see how everyone reacts when more stores begin doing it and it becomes more and more apparent that they're doing it. I haven't been to a Kroger or Walgreens definitely in a while, and definitely not any that have done this to my knowledge. So it is definitely, this could be a big controversy, or people could just be like, huh, maybe this helps me find what I'm looking for better, because they'll actually be telling me what I want. But with online ads, people don't like that. They don't like their data being tracked and being like, oh, this is what I was looking at earlier, and this is what I want, but I think it's creepy that you're showing me this. Which to me, I on one hand I understand it, But on the other hand, it's like, oh, you're showing me this, and maybe I didn't think about this one before. Maybe I'll buy this. And it's like they had more knowledge to help me make a purchase. But then you have Spotify where I'll use the word exercise on one of a few apps, and one of those few apps communicates with whatever Spotify ads use, and then that'll be the one time I've ever gotten an exercise ad on Spotify, and it's just, I don't think I like that. All about the boundaries, I guess.
Yeah, like the only purpose like to have cameras in the store, like to catch people like shoplifting or anything. But like in that other situation, like trying to see how people like react to different products. Like, nah, I don't think so. Cause it's like people are like they're being recorded like on what products they like and not, or like their reaction to that. Like it's like being done with like their consent, but like in a way like they already know there's surveillance cameras there anyways. So that's kind of debatable.
Absolutely. So, are you ready for the final topic of the episode? This is a segment we've been doing for the past 4-5 weeks now. I think it's been really good. I look forward to seeing how you react to the segment.
All right, let's get on with the final topic, because after this I gotta have to go to work.
Absolutely. So you're going to be the judge and jury. First off, we have a 26-year-old Florida man, always with the Florida men, in his 2007 white Chevrolet Trailblazer when he allegedly turned on red and blue lights in order to pull over another driver. That other driver, however, happened to be an undercover detective with the sheriff's department, who then called the 911 dispatcher to report an unusual traffic stop. The detective kept track of the vehicle until sheriff's deputies could respond. When deputies searched the Trailblazer, they found an airsoft gun in the holster that looked like a pistol, and found that the vehicle had a light bar installed at the top of the SUV. What do you think the punishment should be for this person impersonating a police officer?
I think like some sort of fine and community service or something. Because I mean debatable. Like you want to like give him like jail time for impersonating an officer. Because who knows like what if that person had even any good intentions or not at all, stopping somebody else like that. But I mean I can imagine like some sort of jail punishment. But then again, some sort of fine, like that person will pay a fine or like do like community service, or maybe up to like maybe like a few months to a year of jail time. Who knows? I don't know. It's kind of debatable in that situation, because it's not necessarily like a crime they committed, like they stole something, or like they killed somebody. So
Would you like to hear what their punishment was?
sure.
He was charged with impersonating an officer, was released a few days later on a $2,000 bond. So he was arrested for a short time and he got out on a $2,000 bond. So he definitely, $2,000 is not the most it could be, but $2,000 is also a lot for most people.
Yeah, that's actually fair the way he got punished. That kind of that's kind of like what I was thinking, like some sort of fine or something. Or I think like adding community service to that or do anything better, or the jail time. But yeah, I find this like fair, I'd say, because he didn't actually like steal like that vehicle, because that it's clearly his vehicle, and he didn't like kill anybody or he didn't do some sort of other crime. So yeah,
Yep, just a minor offense. Just a little bit of impersonation. Secondly, we have an 18-year-old Hudson woman who is accused of battering store clerks who tried to stop her after she stuffed a club stacker sandwich, sausage breakfast sandwich, can of Pringles, and 2 Lunchables in her yoga pants. According to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, she entered the convenience store on April 18th at 8:42 p.m. and concealed the feud items valued at $15.35 in her yoga pants. As she was leaving the store, the manager and night clerk approached her about the theft. She shoved both employees and fled the store. What do you think her punishment should be?
I say I'd probably say like a few days in jail, probably. I mean, it's only like 1534. You said
1535.
1535. Yeah, I think like a few days or up to like a week of jail time, I'd say.
She was picked up by deputies and taken to jail. Well, her bond and bail was set at $650. So
$650?
what could have cost you $16 ended up costing you $650 and some time in jail.
So her bond was less than the other guy who stopped the undercover detective?
Yes.
That does not make any sense whatsoever.
And the thing is, like, if we want to dissect this and look into the logic behind it, if you want to commit a theft, why would you do it in pants that don't really give you room to conceal anything?
Yeah, yoga pants not really a good way to like hide stuff. Like, I mean, a yoga bag perhaps, but either way, you're still stealing. I'm not encouraging it, but that wasn't really thought out, like in my opinion.
Absolutely. So our final criminal. Do you think that the lady from earlier, from the vegan shop, do you think she should be punished for her inequality to solve inequality?
Yes.
What would her punishment be?
I'd say a fine.
How high would you set this fine?
I'd say more. I'd say a bit. I'm saying more than the lady that shoplifted and flooded the store. Like, I'd say more than that. Or
$1 million. That's what I'd fine her.
Oh wow!
You gotta send a clear-cut message.
Wow, 1 million. That's kind of overdoing it, but
she'll never forget, though.
She won't. I thought that she will.
So
considering how big, like people start knowing about like how that story blew up.
So tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at MoralTruthy. No spaces there. It's with a Y in the end because once again, as I said in one of the previous episodes, someone else took the name Moral Truth, no spaces, so I added a Y in the end, and that was not taken. That guy still didn't add me though. It just still says pending. I mean, it's a private account, but the Moral Truth account because I'm Moral Truthy.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Instagram at moral_truth. That's pretty much mostly I've been active there for the most part, because haven't really uploaded much on my main YouTube channel. I started up doing more streams and videos on the second channel. I'm not sure if I want to link that because I don't think it's maybe something that your viewers might be interested in because it's not necessarily like a popular game or anything. It's because my audience is mostly for people who play that specific game, like I said, like with the RuneScape private server and whatnot. So
very fair.
So yeah, mostly just Twitter and Instagram. I'd say.
Well, if anyone hasn't followed you on Twitter or Instagram, everyone needs to be sure to do so. And you want to make sure If Moral ever returns to the Morals podcast, take a listen to one of those. I'm sure he will bring on the most exciting guest he could possibly bring on next time. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it wherever you're listening, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you may be listening to this, even if it's on YouTube. Share it out. Sharon is Karen. I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode. I hope you all have a great week. Peace out, guys.